How long have you lived in San Bernardino?
Well, I was born in San Bernardino. Um, let's see, born in 1978, and actually, my all my siblings, we were all born at San Bernardino Community. We more or less grew up in the Inland Empire. San Bernardino was always home base. Went to elementary school in Redlands, attended Crafton, went to school back east in Washington, D.C., lived there and worked there for a time, lived overseas for a while. In 2005, I moved back to the Inland Empire and bought my first home in San Bernardino in 2008, and I've been a homeowner in San Bernardino ever since.
What motivated you to run for city council?
Well, as I stated, I'm a homeowner. I'm a stakeholder in the city. I think every property owner, business owner, resident of the city is a stakeholder. And having watched the systematic decline of our city to the point of bankruptcy, I think I, like many other people, became very frustrated with the fact that it appeared that our city government was not working for the best interests of the residents. And so I decided it was time for folks to step up and run. And I was honored to have quite a few of my fellow neighbors and fellow residents run in a special election last year in February 2014. And I think everybody did a good job getting out and reaching out to the residents. And I managed to win election. And since then, I've been absolutely committed and devoted to an agenda of transparency and openness in city government to move our city forward and win back the trust of our residents and voters.
What are your qualifications for this position?
Well, my background is primarily in finance. I worked for the U.S. Treasury Department both during and immediately after I completed my undergraduate studies in Washington, D.C. I worked for a time in elections. I worked in both the 2000, 2004 presidential election cycles overseas. Came back to the Inland Empire in 2005 and began a career in transportation, working for the Riverside County Transportation Commission on regional transportation issues. So I interacted with transportation agencies throughout Southern California, primarily focused on commuter rail, Metrolink. But what it allowed me to do is really understand the complexity of our regional governments and understanding the importance of working together in collaboration, not only on a local level, but on a regional level, so that our overall region, both in the Inland Empire and Southern California, can benefit from, I think, a rising tide of increasing incomes and an improved quality of life.
Who are your main campaign contributors?
I've had a broad array of contributors. What I realized going into my election in 2014 is that it's important as a candidate to self-regulate and limit the amount of influence that any one contributor or particular group has over your election. So I made a rule to comply with essentially the state and federal campaign limits, which is essentially $5,000, no more than $5,000 per contributor. But I've had everything from local business people to developers, to individuals, to our police union. And it's been a great honor to win their confidence and their support. But again, I think it's very important that as a candidate, I think that you feel a lot of pressure if one particular individual or group has more or less subsidized your election. It's very difficult for you to remain objective. So I put that limit of $5,000 per election cycle on any one group. And I think what it does is it allows me to maintain my objectivity and my neutrality when it comes to very important issues facing our city. And I think it's important for candidates to put some limits, even though there aren't limits. The city does not have limits on campaign contributions. And I think in some ways that it can distort the outcome of elections and decisions that are made from the council dais.